Hey guys, tonight we slip into the sun-baked streets of Uruk, a bustling Sumerian city around 3500 before Common Era, where the air smells of barley dust and ambition. Picture yourself trudging along a dirt path, sandals slapping against cracked earth, while merchants haggle over clay tablets and goats bleat in the distance. The Tigris River glimmers nearby, its sluggish current carrying reeds and dreams. You're here to uncover the wheel's humble origin, a world-changing invention born not from a lightning bolt eureka, but from sweaty, incremental tinkering. Spoiler, you probably won't survive a day in Uruk's heat without a modern fan, let alone invent something eternal. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your city and local time. I'm curious where you're drifting off from tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You stand in Uruk's heart, a city of mud brick ziggurats piercing the sky like jagged teeth. The Sumerians, clever folks who scribbled the world's first writing on clay, are all around you. Their cuneiform wedges etched with reeds track grain, debts, and maybe a cheeky love poem or two. Mainstream fact, Uruk, one of the first true cities, housed up to 50,000 people at its peak, a mind-boggling scale for 3500 before Common Era. You weave past a potter's stall, where a woman spins clay into jars, her hands slick with river mud. The air's thick with the scent of baked earth and sweat. Here's the quirky bit. Sumerians didn't just write about trade, they scribbled curses on tablets to hex thieves, like an ancient do not steal post-it. You chuckle, imagining a merchant muttering magical insurance over his barley sacks. You pause by a shade-dappled wall, watching kids chase a hoop made of bundled reeds. It rolls, wobbles, and flops over, nothing special, but it's a hint. The wheel's origin isn't some lone genius yelling aha. Historians still argue whether it started with toys, potters, or sledges dragged over logs. You squint at the hoop, wondering if those kids are onto something. Sumerians are practical. They need to move stuff, grain, reeds, clay, across this sprawling city. Dragging sledges over dirt is backbreaking, and you feel the ache just watching a laborer heave a load. The sun's relentless, baking your shoulders, and you're already craving a nap. But Uruk's alive, buzzing with ideas. You hear a scribe nearby, his stylus tapping clay, muttering about a new way to move goods. Could it be the wheel's first whisper? You lean closer, dust tickling your nose, as the city hums with possibility. The wheel's not here yet, but its shadows forming in the chaos of Uruk's daily grind. You drift toward the market, where the air's a soup of spices and shouting. A donkey brays, refusing to budge with its load. You smirk. Modern tech spoiled you, hasn't it? No Sumerian had a delivery app, just stubborn hooves and sweat. The ground's rutted from sledges, proof of how clumsy transport is. You notice a craftsman nearby, fiddling with a flat wooden disc. It's not a wheel, not yet, but it's heavy, solid, like something meant to roll. Your eyelids droop as the city's rhythm lulls you. The clink of clay, the murmur of voices, the distant lap of the Tigris. The wheel's story starts here, in this dusty, chaotic sprawl, where necessity and boredom collide. You're not inventing anything today, but you're walking where it all began. You're knee-deep in Uruk's clay now, the kind that sticks to your sandals like a clingy X. The sun's high, baking the earth, and you're at a potter's workshop, where the air smells of damp mud and ambition. Your hands are gritty as you help a Sumerian craftsman knead a lump of river clay, smooth as silk but heavy as regret. This is where the wheels story gets muddy, literally. Mainstream fact, Sumerians were churning out pottery by 4000 before Common Era, their jars and bowls feeding a city that guzzled grain and beer like nobody's business. You're not shaping a wheel yet, but you're close, watching the potter's hands coax clay into perfect curves. The quirky tidbit? Some Sumerians smeared clay on their faces as sunscreen, probably looking like the world's first spa-goers. You grin, imagining yourself slathered in mud, dodging UV rays like a proto-influencer. You squat beside the potter, who's humming a tune older than history. He's got a flat stone disc under his clay, spinning it slowly with his foot. It's not a wheel for carts, don't get excited, but it's a cousin, a potter's trick to make jars faster. You try spinning one yourself, and it wobbles like your first attempt at yoga. The disc's heavy, carved from limestone, and you feel the strain in your calves. Historians still argue whether these potter's wheels inspired the cartwheel or if it was a total fluke. Some say the idea jumped from spinning clay to rolling loads. Others think it's just humans being humans, tinkering until something sticks. You wipe sweat from your brow, the clay smearing across your forehead. Great, now you're a walking pottery project. The workshop's alive with clinks and thuds, clay slapped, water splashed, voices muttering. You notice a kid nearby, rolling a clay ball across the ground, giggling as it curves. It's no Michelin tire, but it's got that rolling vibe. You smirk, thinking how kids' games might have sparked genius while adults were busy stressing over taxes. The potter grumbles about a broken jar, tossing it into a pile of discards. You peek at the shards, noticing one's got a faint wheel-like sketch scratched into it. Is it a doodle? A plan? You're no archaeologist, but it's intriguing. Your eyelids droop as the workshop's rhythm, spin, slap, spin, lulls you. The clay's cool under your fingers, grounding you in this ancient moment. You wander to the edge of the workshop, where a scribe's scribbling on a tablet. He's logging clay deliveries, his stylus precise as a surgeon. You lean in, catching a whiff of his reed pen, inky and sharp. He mutters about a new tool for moving heavy pots, something round, something that rolls. Your ears perk up, but he's vague, like he's guarding a trade secret. You chuckle softly. Even in 3500 before Common Era, people were cagey about their big ideas. The sun's dipping now, casting long shadows across the workshop. You're tired, your hands caked with clay, but you're starting to see it. The wheel's not just a thing, it's an idea, born from this messy, muddy grind. You yawn, the potter's hum fading into a sleepy drone, pulling you deeper into Uruk's quiet genius. You're crouched in a potter's yard now, the air thick with the earthy tang of wet clay and the faint buzz of flies. The sun's a relentless overseer, baking your neck as you watch a Sumerian potter spin a limestone disc, shaping a jug with hands that move like a slow dance. This is where the wheel's story gets a little dizzy. Mainstream fact, by 3500 before Common Era, Sumerians were using potter's wheels, flat, heavy discs spun by hand or foot, to churn out pottery at speeds that made their neighbors jealous. You're mesmerized by the rhythm. Spin, mold, repeat. The quirky tidbit? Some potters painted their wheels with red ochre, maybe for luck or just to flex their style. You chuckle, picturing a Sumerian artisan showing off his custom ride like it's a lowrider convention. You try your hand at the wheel, nudging it with your foot. It's sluggish, like pushing a car in neutral, and your jug comes out lopsided, more abstract art than functional pot. The potter laughs, his teeth stained from chewing betel nuts, and you shrug. Pottery's harder than it looks. This spinning disc, though, is a game changer. It's not the cartwheel yet, but it's teaching Sumerians how things roll. Historians still argue whether the potter's wheel directly birthed the cartwheel or just planted the seed. Some say the leap was obvious, spinning clay to rolling carts. Others think it took a rogue genius to connect the dots. You squint at the disc, its edges worn smooth from years of use, and wonder who first saw the potential. The yard's alive with activity. Apprentices lugging clay, a kid sweeping dust, the potter muttering about orders for the temple. You notice a stack of broken pots, their bases suspiciously round, like proto-wheels. One shard has a sketch, 2 circles joined by a line, like an axle. You smirk. Is this ancient graffiti or a blueprint? Your mind drifts to modern wheels, car tires, bike gears, and you realize how much you take them for granted. Back here, every spin's a small miracle. You lean against a mud brick wall, its warmth soaking into your back, and watch the potter's hands blur. The wheel's hum is hypnotic, pulling you into a sleepy haze. You wander to a corner where an old woman's glazing pots with a reed brush. She's humming a tune, low and soothing, like a lullaby from the dawn of time. You ask about the wheel, and she shrugs, saying it's just how we make things faster. Her nonchalance makes you grin. Typical Sumerian, acting like world-changing tech is no big deal. The sun's lower now, painting the yard gold, and your eyelids are heavy. The wheel's story isn't flashy. It's in these quiet moments, the slow grind of clay and ideas. You yawn, the potter's wheel still spinning in your mind, its rhythm merging with the distant murmur of Uruk's streets. You're not inventing anything, but you're standing where history started to roll. You're trudging through Uruk's bustling outskirts now, where the air smells of straw, sweat, and the Tigris River's muddy breath. You're hauling a sledge piled with barley sacks, your shoulders aching as the wooden runners drag over rutted dirt. This is where the wheel's necessity starts to burn. Mainstream fact, Sumerians relied on sledges, flat wooden platforms dragged by men or oxen to move goods across their city and beyond, a method unchanged for centuries by 3500 before Common Era. You groan, feeling the grind of every step, and notice a quirky tidbit. Some sledges were smeared with bitumen, a sticky tar to slide smoother, like ancient WD-40. You chuckle, imagining a Sumerian muttering, "This'll fix it," while slathering black goo on his sledge. You pause, wiping sweat from your brow, and watch a merchant yell at his donkey, which is refusing to pull a load of reeds. The sledge is stuck in a rut, and you sympathize. Modern traffic jams have nothing on this. The problem's clear. Dragging heavy loads is slow, and Uruk's growing too fast for this nonsense. You spot a craftsman nearby, tinkering with a log roller under his sledge. It's crude, just a cut tree trunk, but it moves easier than your flatboard. Historians still argue whether log rollers like these sparked the wheel's invention, or if it was a potter's trick that jumped to transport. You squat beside the log, rolling it with your hand, and it's heavy but promising. Could this be the wheel's grandparent? The market's chaos surrounds you. Vendors shouting, goats bleating, clay tablets clinking as scribes tally trades. You notice a kid rolling a hoop made of woven reeds, giggling as it wobbles. It's not a wheel, but it's close, and you smirk. Kids always seem to stumble on genius, while adults sweat the details. Your sledge feels like a ton of bricks now, and you're dreaming of a cold drink and a nap. You lean against a palm tree, its shade a brief mercy, and watch the merchant finally free his sledge.
He mutters about a new way to move goods, something round and rollin'. Your ears perk up, but he's already trudging off, leaving you in the dust. The sun's dipping, casting long shadows over the rutted paths. You're exhausted, your sandals caked with dirt, but you're starting to get it. The wheel wasn't born from a single eureka. It's the slow grind of need. Too much barley, too many ruts, too little time. You yawn, the distant hum of Uruk's markets blending with the river's lap. The sledge's creak is a sleepy rhythm, pulling you deeper into the city's pulse. You're not hauling anything revolutionary today, but you're walking where the wheel's idea started to roll, born from sweaty brows and stubborn loads.
You're standing in the shadow of Uruk's grand ziggurat now, its mud brick steps climbing toward the sky like a stairway to the gods. The air's heavy with incense and the faint clatter of tools from a temple workshop nearby. You're here to poke around the sacred spaces where Sumerians didn't just pray, they tinkered. Mainstream fact, temples in Uruk weren't just for worship. By 3500 before Common Era, they were hubs of innovation, where priests and artisans experimented with tools and ideas to serve the gods and city. You sniff the air, catching a whiff of myrrh, and spot a quirky tidbit. Some priests used polished obsidian discs as mirrors to consult the stars, probably squinting at their own reflections. You chuckle, imagining a priest mistaking his beard for a divine omen. You slip into the workshop, where the air's cooler, tinged with wood shavings and clay dust. Artisans are hunched over benches, carving wooden rods and shaping flat round discs, some for offerings, others for who knows what. You pick up a disc, heavy as a dinner plate, and roll it between your palms. It's not a wheel yet, but it's got that vibe, like a proto-idea waiting to roll. Historians still argue whether temple artisans or market traders first turned these discs into cartwheels. Some say priests with their divine budgets had the freedom to experiment. Others bet on gritty merchants desperate to move goods faster. You spin the disc and it wobbles, landing with a thud. Not quite there, but you're intrigued. The workshop's alive with quiet focus. A chisel's tap, a soft chant, the scratch of a reed stylus on clay. You notice a tablet with a sketch, 2 circles joined by a line, like that axle doodle you saw back in the potter's yard. Remember that? You smirk. Ideas are spreading, like gossip in a small town. You wander to a corner where an artisan's shaping a wooden roller, muttering about making offerings move smoother to the temple. Your ears perk up. Is this the wheel's holy moment? You lean closer, dodging a splinter, and feel the temple's calm seep into you. The incense is soothing, almost too soothing, and your eyelids droop. You step outside, the ziggurat looming above, its shadow stretching like a sleepy giant. A priest shuffles past, his robe brushing the dirt, and you wonder if he's dreaming of rolling carts or just lunch. The temple's hum, chants, tools, murmured prayers, wraps around you like a blanket. You're not inventing anything, but you're standing where sacred and practical collided, where a disc might have rolled from altar to street. You yawn, the workshop's rhythm blending with the distant Tigris, pulling you into a drowsy haze. The wheel's closer now, its idea flickering in the temple's quiet corners. You're out in Uruk's dusty fields now, where the air smells of straw and the musky sweat of oxen. The sun's a heavy hand on your shoulders as you watch a farmer yoke a pair of snorting beasts to a sledge loaded with grain. This is where the wheel's story gets practical, where muscle meets mud. Mainstream fact, By 3500 before Common Era, Sumerians used oxen to drag sledges, hauling everything from barley to temple offerings across the flat Mesopotamian plains. You tug at the yoke, feeling its weight, and catch a quirky tidbit. Farmers sometimes tied clay charms to their oxen's horns, hoping to ward off bad harvests. You chuckle, picturing a bull strutting like it's ready for a Sumerian fashion show. You help the farmer nudge the sledge forward, but it's slow going, the runner sinking into soft earth. He grumbles about the ruts, and you nod. Dragging this thing feels like pushing a car through mud. Nearby, another farmer's experimenting, laying logs under his sledge to roll it smoother. You squat to inspect the setup. Crude wooden rods, roughly hewn, acting like makeshift wheels. They're not perfect. One cracks under the weight, and you wince. Historians still argue whether these log rollers were the wheel's direct ancestor or just a stepping stone. Some say the leap to fixed axles came from farmers like this guy. Others think it took a city craftsman's precision. You roll a log with your foot, and it moves, sluggish but steady, whispering of possibilities. The field's alive with sounds, oxen lowing, ropes creaking, the distant chatter of workers. You spot a kid nearby, rolling a round stone for fun, oblivious to the history he's mimicking. You smirk. Kids and their games, always circling back to that hoop you saw in Uruk's market. Remember that? Your back aches from helping with the sledge, and you're dreaming of a nap under a palm tree. The farmer mutters about a new idea. A wooden disc fixed to a rod, so it spins without breaking. Your ears perk up. Is this the axle's big moment? You lean closer, dodging a fly, and watch him sketch a circle in the dirt with a stick. The sun's dipping lower, painting the fields gold, and the oxen's steady plod is oddly soothing. You're sweaty, your sandals caked with mud, but you're starting to see it. The wheel's not just a thing, it's a solution to this back-breaking grind. The farmer's voice fades into a low hum, blending with the rustle of barley stalks. You yawn, the field's rhythm pulling you into a drowsy fog. You're not yoking oxen forever, but you're standing where the wheel's clunky first steps took shape, born from sweat, dirt, and a farmer's stubborn hope. You're back in Uruk's heart now, weaving through its crowded market, where the air's thick with the scent of roasted sesame and sun-warmed clay. Merchants shout over each other, waving barley sacks and reed baskets, while donkeys bray in the chaos. You're here to feel the city's pulse, where rumors of the wheel are starting to roll. Mainstream fact: Uruk's markets were economic engines by 3500 before Common Era, funneling goods like grain, textiles, and pottery across Mesopotamia, demanding faster ways to move heavy loads. You dodge a cart piled with jars, and here's the quirky tidbit. Some merchants tied tiny clay wheels to their belts as good luck charms, like ancient keychains. You chuckle, imagining a trader jingling like a low-budget Santa Claus. You pause by a stall where a scribe's scratching tallies onto a tablet, muttering about a new cart that rolls on discs. Your ears perk up, but he's cagey, glancing around like he's spilling state secrets. The market's alive with gossip. Everyone's heard whispers of something that'll make sledges obsolete. You spot a craftsman nearby, showing off a wooden disc fixed to a rod. It's crude, wobbling like a toddler's first steps, but it rolls. Historians still argue whether this idea spread from workshops or fields. Remember those log rollers? Some say markets drove the wheel's rise, with traders pushing for speed. Others credit temple artisans with the breakthrough. You roll the disc with your finger, and it spins, shaky but promising, like your first attempt at parallel parking. The market's noise is a symphony, clinking clay, haggling voices, the thud of sacks hitting the ground. You notice a kid rolling a reed hoop past a stall, just like that one you saw days ago. Remember the giggling? You smirk. Maybe kids are the real innovators here. Your feet ache from dodging donkeys, and you're craving a shady corner to rest. The scribe leans over, whispering about a cart that moves itself down Uruk's streets. You raise an eyebrow, picturing a Sumerian infomercial. The sun's dipping, casting golden light over the stalls, and the market's buzz is lulling you into a sleepy haze. You lean against a mud brick wall, its warmth soaking into your back. The scribe's stylus taps a rhythm, blending with the distant tigress and the market's hum. You're not buying anything, but you're caught in Uruk's fever. Everyone's talking about this rolling thing, and it's electric. You yawn, the chaos softening into a gentle drone, like a fan on low. The wheel's not just a tool, it's a spark, lighting up the city's dusty streets. You're standing where history's about to roll forward, carried by whispers and ambition. You're lingering in a dim Uruk alley now, where the air's cooler, tinged with the faint scent of damp clay and stale beer. The market's roar is a muffled hum behind you as you eavesdrop on a gaggle of scribes, their robes dusty from a long day's work. They're arguing, voices low but heated, about who gets credit for this newfangled rolling thing. You're here to catch the wheel's origin story in its messy human form. Mainstream fact, the wheel's invention, around 3500 before Common Era in Mesopotamia, isn't pinned to one person, but emerged from Sumerian cities like Uruk, where collective tinkering thrived. You lean closer, catching a quirky tidbit. Some scribes claimed the wheel was a gift from the god Enki, probably to dodge doing the paperwork themselves. You chuckle, imagining a deity faxing blueprints to a temple. One scribe, with a beard like a tangled reed mat, insists a potter dreamed up the wheel after watching his spinning disc. Remember that potter's yard? Another, younger and smug, swears it was a farmer's log roller that sparked it. You saw those in the fields, right? A third scribe, sipping barley beer, mutters about a merchant who saw it in a dream. You smirk. Sounds like someone's been hitting the beer too hard. Historians still argue whether the wheel came from a single eureka or a slow mashup of ideas. Some say potter's wheels inspired it. Others point to sledges and logs. You're no scholar, but you feel the truth. It's probably all of them, mixed in Uruk's chaotic brain trust. You wander to a nearby stall, where a craftsman's showing off a wooden model, 2 discs on a stick, spinning clumsily. It's a toy, not a cart, but it rolls, and the scribes are losing their minds over it. You spin it yourself, and it wobbles, landing in the dust. Not exactly Tesla-level engineering, but it's a start. The alley's alive with whispers. Traders, priests, even kids are buzzing about this rolling cart idea. You notice a clay tablet propped against a wall, etched with a sketch of circles and an axle, like that one you saw in the temple, remember? Your eyelids droop as the scribes' voices blend into a soothing drone, like a podcast on low. You lean against a wall, its mud brick cool against your back, and let the alley's rhythm pull you in. The scribes keep bickering, but it's background noise now, mixing with the distant clatter of Uruk streets. You're not solving the mystery of the wheel's inventor, but you're standing where egos and ideas collided, pushing history forward. You yawn, the alley's shadows stretching long and soft, lulling you into a sleepy haze. The wheel's almost here, and you're close enough to feel its first shaky spin. You're standing on a dusty Uruk street now, the air thick with the scent of baked earth and anticipation. The sun's low, painting the mud brick walls gold, as you watch a small crowd gather around a rickety wooden cart. This is it, the wheel's big debut, wobbling into history. Mainstream fact: the earliest known wheels, solid wooden discs fixed to axles, appeared in Mesopotamia around 3500 before Common Era, likely in Uruk, transforming how goods moved. You squint at the cart, its two heavy discs creaking under a load of barley sacks. Here's the quirky tidbit. The first carts were so loud, their squeaky axles probably woke half the city like an ancient car alarm. You chuckle, imagining Sumerians tossing sandals at the noise to shut it up. You step closer, feeling the crowd's buzz. Merchants, farmers, even a kid clutching a reed hoop like the ones you've seen everywhere, remember? The cart's driver, a sweaty craftsman, nudges it forward. It lurches, the wheels grinding against the axle, but it moves. Faster than any sledge you've dragged. Think back to those fields. The crowd murmurs, some clapping, others skeptical, muttering about fancy sledges. Historians still argue whether this first cart was a game changer or just a clunky prototype. Some say it revolutionized trade overnight. Others think it took decades for wheels to catch on, too heavy for Uruk's rutted paths. You touch the cart's rough wood, feeling its weight, and imagine the backache of carving those discs. The street's alive with sounds. The cart's creak, voices haggling nearby, the distant lap of the Tigris. You notice a scribe sketching the cart on a tablet, his stylus flying, probably the world's first wheel review. You smirk. He's giving it 2 stars for needs less squeak. Your legs ache from standing, and you're craving a shady spot to rest. The driver pushes the cart again, and it rolls a bit smoother, kicking up dust that tickles your nose. It's not fast, your grandma's walker could outpace it, but it's a miracle, cutting the effort of hauling loads in half. You feel Uruk's pulse quicken. This thing's going to change everything. You lean against a wall, the evening breeze cooling your skin, and let the street's rhythm soothe you. The cart's creak is oddly hypnotic, blending with the crowd's chatter and the river's hum. You're not driving anything, but you're here for the wheel's first shaky roll, a moment that'll echo through history. You yawn, the golden light softening the scene, pulling you into a sleepy fog. The wheel's born, and you're standing where Sumerians turned a simple idea into motion. You're perched on a low mud brick wall in Uruk now. The evening air soft with the scent of cooling earth and distant reeds. The city's settling into dusk, its bustle fading to a gentle hum as you watch a cart, those wobbly wheels you saw earlier, trundle down a quiet street, its squeak echoing like a lullaby. You're here to reflect on the wheel's slow ripple, how it changed Sumerian life and beyond. Mainstream fact: the wheel, born around 3500 before Common Era in Mesopotamia, spread across cultures by 3000 before Common Era, reshaping trade, war, and work from Egypt to the Indus Valley. You trace a circle in the dust with your sandal, and here's the quirky tidbit. Early Sumerian kids played with toy carts, mini wheels and all, like ancient Hot Wheels. You chuckle, picturing a toddler racing his toy cart while merchants haggled over grain. You look out over Uruk, its ziggurats dark against the twilight sky. That cart you saw, remember its creaky debut, is just the start. It's hauling barley now, But soon wheels will carry armies, kings, even ideas across continents. Historians still argue whether the wheel's spread was a Sumerian export or if other cultures stumbled on it too. Some say Uruk's traders carried the idea along river routes. Others think necessity sparked wheels everywhere, like parallel evolution. You watch another cart roll by. Smoother now, its driver grinning like he's cracked the code to an easier life. You smirk. Modern wheels owe this guy a high five. The street's nearly empty. Just a few scribes lingering, their tablets tucked under their arms. You spot one etching a cart's outline, maybe dreaming of fame for documenting this moment. The air's cooler, wrapping you in a sleepy calm, and the tigress's gentle lap blends with the cart's soft creak. You're tired, your body heavy from days of wandering Uruk's dusty paths. Potter's yards, fields, markets, remember all those? The wheel's not just a thing, it's a quiet shift, a spark that'll roll through time, from clay discs to chariot wheels to your car's tires. You yawn, the city's glow fading into a hazy dream. As the stars begin to prick the sky, your breath slow, matching the rhythm of Uruk's fading pulse. The wheel's story is done for now, its first turn etched in the dust beneath your feet. Picture yourself sinking into the warm earth, the tigress whispering nearby, its waters carrying away the day's weight. Let the soft creak of that cart fade, blending with the rustle of reeds and the distant hum of a city at rest. You're drifting now, wrapped in the gentle glow of history, where ideas like the wheel roll on, quiet but eternal. Close your eyes, let the night take you, and sleep deeply, carried by the slow spin of time.